So, as you guys have probably heard, there's a theory that the next patch in Guild Wars 2 is actually going to be a tunnel. A secret tunnel, if you will. There's actually this meme coming around the community about the tunnel song from Avatar, where they talk about the secret tunnel, referring to as the next patch as the secret tunnel, and memeing about it because probably not gonna be that big. Even though this is a good meme. Which is the validity of this secret tunnel theory? Well, the secret tunnel theory started with that shaman post where people actually broke into the part that was inaccessible from the map when the that was released. And as you can see here, there's actually some screenshots and a tunnel that goes from the end of the meta to the start of the meta. There's an article where a journalist got to play Guild Wars 2 and the Delve update, and they also asked about the next update and what it would entail. And they said that according to it, if this event chain is all about getting to the bottom of the Delve, which is what we did, the next rules will be about how two players will climb back out, which makes a lot of people to believe that the tunnel is gonna be us coming from here to here, and that's gonna be the meta. People are not really that happy about this because, well, it's not really that big of a tunnel, is it? I do think that not because the size of the tunnel is not that big, it's gonna be a bad patch. Actually, as the Delve map was actually pretty big, and people didn't like that much. So I do think that we're gonna have to wait to see what the next part of the meta is gonna be and what the content is gonna be. But I'm actually not really that scared. I'm kind of hopeful. But let's talk about what is the validity of the tunnel theory. Well, first we have to say that one change that they made that actually makes a lot of people believe that the tunnel is real is that previously, you can see it here, but previously the Delve map title was actually in the middle and right here, right? Which would imply that the next part of the meta would be all around here instead that of the tunnel. But they changed this and moved the title from here to here, which makes you believe that actually the full map is going to be this and the next meta is just going to be this, right? Now, this exact same argument could be used for the fact that, well, at the start it was in the middle, so it's probably going to be, the whole map, this whole part is going to be the next meta, and they moved it here because right now the Elves is just is this, so I would have it here to confuse people. So I guess it could go either way. Now, another good argument is that, well, we've always have a similar size map on the second part, right? Usually it's always Driftwood North, Driftwood South. They're also the same size, so why would this change right now? No, I think it is trying new things, so it's actually pretty possible that this changes. But I guess it's a 50-50 in that regard. Another argument is that Delve Part 1 was pretty rushed. The story was not really that much. The map is kind of unfinished, there's not a lot to do. So it's pretty possible that because of this and they trying to get the next expansion out, they're gonna just do a little bit of an event and not that much in the next release. So that would make the tunnel make a lot of sense. Another good argument is that actually the tunnel already exists and you can go see it, and it got updated with certain mobs that appear in the last patch have appeared in this part of the map, which makes you think that the tunnel is real, because I mean it's already there and they're updating it, so it makes sense that that's gonna be the next part of the map if we're getting close to the release date. Now, after all of this information, I think the biggest and most important piece of information and thing that actually convinced me that the tunnel is probably going to be the case is that in the roadmap you can see that when they were talking about the next release, which is this one, they say that storyline, the Delve Part 2 storyline, will conclude a few months later with an update that introduces additional playable space to the map. Not a whole map, not a double-sized map as we got before, additional playable space to the map that we already had before, Delve. Adds meta events and boss encounters and lays the groundwork for the future to be announced adventures. That makes me think a lot that it's gonna be the tunnel. Because if this wasn't the case, why would they put this here? Why wouldn't they say we're gonna get another map, or the second part of the map, or we're gonna double the size of the map, or whatever, any other wording. Additional playable space to the map sounds to me like the tunnel, like this part that is missing, right? Now, what does this imply? What will this meta part have? It actually says right here, adds meta events, plural, boss encounters, plural, and lays the groundwork for the future to be announced Avengers. This makes me think that Eternal will have multiple bosses in the same meta. It might actually have multiple meta events, maybe populating the rest of the map with other events, because honestly, the other is kind of barren. It only has one meta event, even though it's a huge map. So it could actually be that they're gonna put some other things to do in the middle of the map. I actually also think that because we're getting a Fractal with this release as well, I do think that probably the Fractal bosses are going to be the same ones in the meta. Actually, the meta event in Jail Delve ends with a boss that is actually very similar to Fractal bosses or raid bosses, so it wouldn't be surprise me if that exact boss is inside of Fractal, and the bosses after that we're going to get are also in the Fractal and in the same place. And the Fractal is essentially a mirror of the meta, just for 5 people instead. I also think, because of what it says here, that lays the groundwork for the future to be announced Avengers. That is, actually, the groundwork for the future announced Avengers is the expansion. Why? Because they're not actually, according to what they said, after this is the end of the End of Dragon story, and after the end of the End of Dragon story, you know what happens? The next expansion. That's their new plan, essentially. So it would not surprise me, the next storyline, to end with a teaser for the next expansion. And they're gonna have to put a lot of story to make that work, because honestly, the last Jail Delves update was not it doesn't have a lot of story, and it doesn't really lead us anywhere. I guess it kind of is like a teaser for like, ooh, the Void and whatever, but not really a lot. And the Goric journal that we're getting every week also doesn't have that much information. So I think they're gonna have to work a lot in this patch for us to, you know, get invested into whatever storyline is for the next expansion. I would also love a very big Fractal with a lot of difficulty bosses, and like, you know, I really would love an HCCM level Fractal where you have to progress for like days or months even with your group, but I would probably guess that it's not going to be the case, even though I would want something else, and I think it works out pretty well in Fractals because of the fact that, you know, they have difficulty settings, right? But then again, 100 CM is not even that hard, and people don't play that because it's a bit too hard for them. So I guess it's probably not the best idea, even though I would want that, right? But I think overall, because of this and the event, because of what it says here, you know, meta events and boss encounters, I think the next patch will have a lot. You will have a lot to do in this new map. Even if it's not that big. And you know what to say, guys, you know, size isn't everything. So with that, I think it's a good way to end the video. Tell me what you guys think about that. Tell me what you guys think about this next patch. Tell me if you think if I'm wrong, if I'm full on copium, if I'm full on doomium. And come to the stream if you want to debate me as well. Subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, come to the Mediterranean to gain lots of gold and have fun with the chat. And see you guys around. Love you all. Bye-bye. Two Buddhas are magis against each other. The haze divides their people, and the Doomga divides them apart. Build a patch to be together. And that's the rest of the song, because there's nothing else, so I will Secret Tunnel, Secret Tunnel, through the Yatesy. Secret, 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 secret tunnel, secret tunnel, through the Yatesy. Secret, 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 secret tunnel, yeah!